Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss The Purge, starring Ethan Hawke, Lena Headey, Adelaide Kane, Max Burkholder, and Wise Wakefield, and directed by James DeMonaco. Now, I'm going to confess something before I get into the show. With this first movie, I'm going to be honest. When it first came out in theaters, I had no desire to see it, although I did end up seeing it in theaters eventually, just about a few days after I've heard a lot of people saying that you should check this out. It's an original premise. So, because there's a new movie coming out on July 4th, let's just get right into this. I really like the concept of this movie because it's very original, like people say, in a sick kind of way. And I like that it was set in the future, in the year 2022. So in that year, James Sandin, played by Ethan Hawke, who honestly I'm not the biggest fan of, other than these movies that I'm about to bring up right now. I feel that he makes movies just for a paycheck's sakes. But I really think he's phoning it in like he did in Sinister. And I don't like his family, and I don't like his character either. His wife Mary, played by Lena Headey, who I've seen in these three movies, and is well known for the show that I don't watch, called. Her character, on the other hand, is a completely careless character when her neighbor Grace brings her homemade cookies, and she seems very fucking careless. Now, let's get to the kids. We get introduced to Zoe while she's making out with her 18-year-old boyfriend named Henry, and she's only 16. I really hated her in here, and I've never seen anything from this actress, Adelaide Kane, and I honestly don't want to either. Henry, her boyfriend, is also a very stupid character because he brings a gun to use on the father, James, while in lockdown. Just how fucking stupid. Charlie, played by Max Burkholder, who I've seen him when he was younger in this movie. He was around 5 or 6 years old when that movie came out. But his character was the most cowardice and maybe the least obnoxious of any of the people we deal with. I do like his secret security guard burned toy named Timmy, who, while he freakishly goes on his missions with some old school freaky music from, I think, the 1950s, I like that thing. It's pretty cool. We don't see anything outside the house and neighborhood, and nothing happens for about 10 minutes until a bloody stranger tries to hide from the Purgers going after him, and about 10-15 minutes after we get introduced to the characters, it gets pretty damn boring except for how the holiday called Purge Night works, and it's such a good concept for this movie. The bloody stranger gets into Sandin's house when Charlie disarms the security system his father built, and Henry pulls off a gun at James, and James shoots him back and kills him, what does James do when Mary and Charlie stay in the control room? He tries to find Zoe, while Henry and the bloody stranger could have gotten him killed. Like, Jesus, this is really bad writing, just very bad writing. The Purgers, led by the polite leader, played by Wise Wakefield, are trying to get the bloody stranger, and there's something about that actor's smile that is so fucking menacing. And they cut down the power so they can find the bloody... so that the Sandins can find the bloody stranger in the dark. The polite leader is maybe the best character in this movie, goddammit. Charlie leads the bloody stranger in his hiding spot, which is a good idea until Zoe decides to hide there as well, and James and Mary, while the bloody stranger has Zoe at gunpoint, and James and Mary capture the bloody stranger and tie him up on a chair. And Mary, now debating on whether Charlie was right to save his life Or is James right to taking the bloody stranger to the Purgers? Well, I'm trying to debate whether I like this movie or not. And the Purgers' equipment show up and they break into the Sandin house. While this movie is lazy writing bullshit. The fight between James and Mary and the Purgers was very fucking unconvincing, with James shooting a couple of them, and suddenly the polite leader stabs James in the stomach, and Mary facing off a couple of them, and they tickle her. Kind of amusing. Until all the Sandin's neighbors come to the rescue and shoots the Purgers, and James dies unconvincingly, and the neighbors almost kill off the Sandins, and suddenly the fucking bloody stranger is around somewhere driving Timmy around and shoots a couple of the neighbors, and Mary, while James lies there dead, doesn't want to purge on anyone when it's like 6:58, 59, something like that in the morning. Grace tries to get the gun away from Mary, and Mary smashes her face. And when the alarm of saying the annual purge is done for the year, and lets the neighbors plus the bloody stranger out of the house, that as an ending didn't work for me, because what the fuck will happen to the Sandins after James's death? And thank God we don't follow them either. I'm just gonna say that right now in the sequels. Maybe they might do it in the new movie, but I couldn't say. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 4.5 out of 10. This is a very lazy written script. The characters, I didn't care for any of them. The concept is good, so go ahead and try again with Anarchy and Election Year and the first Purge, because it's sick but brilliant. And honestly, they gotta have to improve the series, or else we're gonna end on a very bad note. And I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next week I will be back with the Purge Anarchy. And until next time, toodaloo, Sandins.